guarding man-to-man, but there were times I had to get him man-to-man. And
favorite team that you guys love to face in your division?
Yours.
Yes, sir.
Like the games like we play against the Raiders, you might get 3 sacks. When they had Jamarcus Russell, which I did. So I got 3 sacks on them in the first half, right?
Yeah.
And I'm ready, and they take Tommy Maddox.
All right, what is going on, everybody? Good morning. Happy Sunday. It is championship weekend here for the War Room. Shout out to everyone in the comments already. Subscribe to the War Room channel. We are coming at you guys with a new Sunday morning pregame show. Fellas, how we doing? Corey, you excited?
Dude, it's game day. I know we got text in our group chat this morning and said no one gave a shit about this game today, but I'll go ahead and be the one that's fully ready for today's activities.
I know your brother's lying about that. We're all acting like we don't want to see the Broncos in a game, which I don't. But, it's football. We're going to watch football, of course.
Always. At least be excited for the NFC game. I mean, I get it. You don't want to see the Broncos, but at least that NFC game is supposed to be pretty good, I think.
I mean, if anyone can see our ticker over here, it is the rivalry game of the week, just foreshadowing that on the show right now. But yeah, I mean, listen, as we're divisional foes, we still love football at the end of the day. We're trying to be objective here. Do I love to see that the Broncos have made it to the AFC Championship game? Absolutely not. But it's football, so we're going to get after it,
Let's get on with it.
All right, guys. Before we get started, shout out to our sponsors, Vidite Coffee, Rival Codes, Field Ops, Kansas, and Emporia State Federal Credit Union, and the one that runs the show, JBW Solutions. We are recording out of the JBW Solutions studios. You guys, we have an ice-breaking question. This one was actually thought of, I think, a couple of nights ago on the TikTok live. And so Corey has brought it to the War Room. And so if anyone can do us a favor too, drop yours in the comments below here. But what are your superstitions as a fan? So Corey, I'm going to let you kick this off since your team is in the championship round. What are you doing superstitiously as a fan?
Yeah, so game day, I have my Code Red. I'm not a big soda drinker. Been trying to cut back on the sodas, but it's a big game today. So I got Code Red, and then I'll have the Bo Nix jersey on as well that I had on last week for last week's game.
Okay. Caleb, you got one?
Yeah, so oddly enough, a lot of people – so I normally wear my white Quentin Johnston jersey right here. The only reason why, every time I've wore it, they've won other than one game. It's a weird thing, but – and I'm always like, well, it's just superstition. So I'll put another one on and then they freaking lose. I'm like, come on.
It's only time if it doesn't work.
Right.
Yep.
Austin, what's your superstition?
I'm not really a superstitious fellow.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, if I had to pick one, I just don't like watching. Like, if the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl, I don't want to watch it at a party.
Okay.
Just
because you don't want people to see you pissed?
No, people don't care about watching the game. And then I just get pissed off because people are trying to talk or blocking the TV.
The fun fact is, when we moved here to St. Louis, the Chiefs played the Buccaneers at the Super Bowl that year, and we watched it with a group of friends. And I'm sitting there smiling ear to ear the whole game. And then you see my brother and a couple of our other buddies just furious, just pissed because there's other people going on in the background talking this and that. My brother's just sitting there like, we're getting our ass beat right now. Like, what is there to be happy about? And I'm sitting there just smiling, just like, hey, what's going on? What's wrong with this game, guys?
Well, I was already frustrated because, it was hard to pay attention to the game because nobody's there to act. It's a Super Bowl party.
Right.
Key word being Super Bowl, or I guess 2 words. But, we're here to watch a Super Bowl, and now you're making it very hard. And then when I can see it, we're getting our ass beat. Why are we partying?
That's that Kobe mentality where it's like, why are you smiling? You're losing. Stop it.
Right. Me and Paul were the worst. We were just sitting on the couch and we're like, dude, this is probably I'm sorry. I know it's your TV, but I want to throw it through the wall because everyone here, all of your people are pissing me off.
That's so funny.
It's great, dude.
So as a Raiders fan, I don't have a superstition because I haven't found one that works. So I don't have one. There are times where if I wear a certain Raiders hat, I think, oh, maybe this is doing it. But there's been times where I've missed the whole Raiders game. We won. And then I think, well, I guess I'm not supposed to watch any more Raiders games. That's the only way we win. So I had more superstition when I actually played sports than I do watching sports. When I played basketball growing up, I had to have the same pair of socks. I had to have the same shirt that goes underneath the jersey. For some reason, it didn't do anything. It was just mentally. But for like regular game days, for like if I'm watching the Raiders or any other team, there's no combination of things I found. I have a routine of like game day, like get my coffee, get my fantasy lineup, sit, watch TV, and that's pretty much it. But I haven't found anything that works. Maybe a voodoo doll somewhere along the way, but have not found anything that works for the Raiders.
That's true. So again, guys, make sure in the comment section, put your game day superstitions and we will read them off towards the end of the episode. And let's move on. Let's get into this.
Let's do it. Also, guys, we do want to foreshadow. We are going to have our brew takes at the end of the episode. Drop your brew take as we are going through the episode. We'll read them at the end. We want to hear what your guys' brew takes are for this championship Sunday. All right, gentlemen, I think it is time for the preview to the Broncos and Patriots game. A lot riding on this game here. We have two historical franchises, both returning to the championship game. Patriots, if I'm not mistaken, are 0-4 against the Denver Broncos. This is at Mile High Stadium. So just nothing like a game day, I think, for you, Corey. I know that you've been trying to talk this up during lives and not trying to get ahead of yourself, but now this is the time for you to give us your X factors and your keys to victory for the Broncos.
Yeah, I don't pay any attention to the 0-4 thing. That these are two completely different teams, two different coaching staffs. I mean, does it play a factor? And maybe, if you want to look deep into it, maybe. But again, Drake May's first game here in Denver, so that may also play into it a little bit. But again, I've been talking about it all week. My big X factor here is obviously it's Jarrett Stidham. What can you do for me? You know, all the talk this week since Bo's injury report, it's been Broncos country rallying around Jarrett Stidham. So now's your time. Again, don't try to be hero. Same thing I said about Bo Nix. Don't be a hero. Play within yourself. Trust Sean Payton. Trust the coaching staff. Trust the big boys in front of you. You got two all-pros on that offensive line. Trust them to block and do the right things. Go out there and be yourself, man. Get hit a couple times. Get yourself accustomed and acclimated into the game. And let's fucking ride. Let's go. I'm so pumped for this game. Jarrett Stidham, it's your time. Let's go.
And a lot of curious things we've seen on TikTok, and I think I want to open this up to the rest of the guys as I go over this. You know, Jarrett Stidham, who's basically been a career backup, he's floated around. He's been in this offense for the last few seasons. Everyone thinks that he just doesn't throw a football anymore. So, Austin, I'm curious from your side, do you think that the Jarrett Stidham being a starting quarterback is kind of blowing up to where it is like people are just sleeping on the fact that Jarrett Stidham could also have a good game?
Yeah, I think that's more the fans and maybe media. I promise you there's zero people in the Patriots locker room or coaching staff that is looking past anybody on the Broncos, right? Mike Vrabel, he's been around the league long enough he's seen the Nick Foles, he's seen the Chad Henneys, he's seen those backups. Teddy Bridgewater for the Saints came in out of nowhere, not having thrown a ball. And I mean, I think he threw 20 passes the previous 2 or 3 seasons, went 5-0. Like, Mike Vrabel will have him ready. I don't think anyone in the Patriots locker room is looking past him, and they shouldn't. I think it's just fans and media trying to get a storyline, trying to make something out of nothing. There's a reason Josh McDaniels has tried to get Stidham everywhere with him. I mean, he drafted him in New England, had him follow him to Oakland, tried to get him this last offseason, and he chose to stay with Denver. So, I mean, it's not like he's not ready. It's not like he can't throw a football. It's not like he just woke up one morning, quit throwing footballs, and doesn't know how to do it, and they keep him around for no reason. Right. Is he as good as Bo Nix? No. But the dude can throw a football. The coaching staff is ready, and there's no one in the Patriots locker room who's sitting around saying he can't throw a football. We're good to go. Yeah, agreed. Caleb, what are your thoughts? Do you think that Jarrett Stidham is being slept on a little bit, or do you think that the Patriots defense actually could get after him and really, throw this offense off a rhythm?
Yeah, I mean, I think they can. They've shown that they can, and it's kind of shocked me just at how good their secondary is, because that secondary is what gets them majority of their sacks. I mean, it really is. If you watch the game or watch them play, that secondary is really, really good, and I think they can get after Stidham, but I don't think they're overlooking Stidham. I don't. I know a lot of people said that or heard the Milton Williams comment, but really in that comment, what I took from it is he doesn't know much about him, so that they're not counting anything out, really. And it wouldn't shock me if Stidham comes out there and has a really good game, honestly. I think he can throw the ball. Obviously, he's a really good pocket passer, that kind of thing. But that secondary for the Patriots is really going to have to be good this week, in my opinion. So the line can get some pressure.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think Jarrett Stidham is actually going to be okay. I don't think Sean Payton and the Broncos would have this much confidence in Stidham if they didn't think they can roll him out there. I know they have Ben DiNucci as an emergency quarterback, but honestly, like, Jarrett Stidham is a serviceable quarterback. I'm not trying to say he's going to go out here and win this game single-handedly, but do I think that he can do these rollout bootlegs, screen passes, intermediate throws? I think that he can at least do that to get this offense in rhythm. And I think Sean Payton is smart enough to dial up a game plan to where he's not going to beat the Patriots with his arms solely. It is going to be a team factor. And also that leads to the question of how is Sean Payton going to call this game in a championship setting? And now the Broncos defense, which has kind of been a little bit questionable since I think about week 12, they haven't really looked as ferocious as they did to start off. They've been doing enough to win games, but is this the time where they now need to step up and be that defense they were at the start of the season, where they were getting home to the quarterback a lot more and they were really suffocating a lot of these quarterbacks to where they're off their rhythm? So Corey, I'm going to kick it back over to you. What does Broncos defense need to do to win this game?
So I'm going to use what Matt told us last night. So Matt sent us a couple of things that he wanted us to read. So I'll use this question for Matt. It's got to be pressuring Drake May. Benito has the second fastest get off and Cooper has the sixth. So there's no reason they shouldn't be able to get into that backfield. And then again, you got to get off the field on third downs. And I've talked about it all week on our live, is if you can keep the Patriots to third and medium, third and long, then that means you can really send that pressure in on Drake May and get the one-on-one matchups on the outside. So, so just kind of use what Matt wanted. So thanks again to Matt for getting that to us. And we wish he was here to be able to celebrate, hopefully, a Broncos win today.
That's a good point. Austin, what's the Patriots offense got to do to win this game?
Score more points than the Broncos.
You don't say.
I think they got to hold on to the ball.
Okay.
Drake May's had a little fumbling issue. I know, I think it's only been 2 or 3 that's lost, but I think he's put it on the ground 6 or 7 times. No turnovers. I don't think that'll guarantee you win the game, but I think that makes this a game longer. And the longer you can make this a tight game, I think you up the chances of Stidham making a mistake and costing them the game. So I think just be careful with the ball. And that goes for everyone. Ramondre's had fumbling issues before. So just don't turn it over. I mean, you got lucky against the Texans. Not lucky, right? You went out there and also forced a lot of turnovers. But usually when you turn the ball over 5 times, you're not going to win a game. Yep. Did you hear that, Bills fans? You turn the ball over 5 times, you don't win many games.
Even if it was an interception.
Yeah, exactly. So, honestly, Patriots just don't turn it over. I think this is actually just going to be a nice back and forth, close game to the end. Caleb,
what do you think this Patriots offense needs to do to win this game?
Yeah, really, to Austin's point, they've got to continue drives. They've got to be able to move the ball consistently. And really, why I mean that is they need, in their system, Drake May runs the ball a lot, right? So with that being said, I think they've got to run him, and he's got to be efficient in the run game. But to Austin's credit, no fumbles, and they got to keep Denver off the field because excuse me, I'm stuttering like crazy, but they really, really need to keep Denver off the field and force Stidham to have to throw the ball a lot. So with that being said, they got to score a lot of points, get in the red zone and be efficient in the red zone. They haven't been great so far this postseason in the red zone. Even against my team, they had the ball in the red zone multiple times and left with no points because of turnovers. So they've got to be consistent on the offensive side of the ball. Don't get away from the run game. With Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson, they don't need to get away from that. Apologize for my stuttering there, but yeah, go ahead.
You're good.
This is the number 1 red zone defense as well, too, in the Broncos. Yeah. So in between the 20s, the Broncos can be had, but once you get into the red zone, they seem to figure it out. So again, that's why I'm saying Denver's got to score touchdowns. If you can hold the Patriots to field goals, but you can get yourself some touchdowns, I mean, you're building yourself up a little bit.
I think, too, what the Broncos, or at least what the Patriots offense needs to do is they need to find a way to protect Drake May. There's only one game this entire season, postseason and regular season, where Drake May was not sacked, and that was the final game of the regular season against the Miami Dolphins. And if I'm not mistaken, he was pulled towards the end of that game, so he didn't even finish the game. But he's been sacked 10 times in this postseason, and he's been turnover prone. And I would argue, like, the defenses aren't going to get any better, assuming the Patriots move on to the Super Bowl. They've got to play whatever defense comes from the Rams, more than likely the Seattle Seahawks. So it's not going to get any better. So I don't think that the Broncos, who have the top-rated pass rush, led the league in sacks. They've got literally 3 defensive ends that can just get after you at any point in time that they want. That's what that's what the Patriots are going to have to do to contain that and to stop that. And sacks are drive killers. And if the Patriots are going to want to move that ball, they're going to have to figure out how to buy Drake May some time or maybe speed up the game a little bit. But I feel like that plays into the Broncos' hands because when we saw Buffalo do that against the Broncos, it led to turnovers. And I feel like the Broncos in this postseason have thrived off of getting extra possessions off of turnovers, such as fumbles or interceptions. They didn't have a whole lot of takeaways in the regular season, but they had a lot in the last week with Josh Allen. So I feel like if the Patriots want their offense to stay on the field, they're going to have to just protect Drake May at all costs, because one, he's going to give the ball up, or he's going to take a sack that ends a drive, and that plays into the Broncos' momentum, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you can't have those almost interceptions. You hear me and Matt joke about that all season, and we put it in our group text and we say it on Twitter all the time, the almost. And Hufanga is obviously, he could have led the NFL if he would just catch those, but instead they're just bouncing off. So any chance that you get to have, those extra possessions, you got to take it. And one thing I want to talk about, and I know Austin will too, is both of these special teams units for both teams are really good. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to stop Marcus Jones and Travion Henderson. And then obviously on the Broncos side with Marvin Mims. So look for some field flipping, honestly, in special teams.
You want to hear my favorite almost? Brandon Cooks almost got it.
Yeah. Almost. But again, so, I look for this to be a huge special teams game. We talked about it a few nights in a row about special teams coming up. So again, it's going to be a tough, hard-fought battle, but in the end, it could just be a field goal that separates these guys.
That's actually what it was, obviously, against the Bills, one-possession game, and it's probably going to be like that, where Patriots have had kind of not an easy road, but, the last 2 teams are able to have a little bit more of a comfortable lead, and Broncos are by far, obviously, there's a reason why they're the number 1 AFC team, and they're all meeting in the AFC Championship game. So it'll definitely be a good one to add to the storybook rivalry of these 2 games. So speaking of rivalries, though, we're going to move on to League Recon, and we're going to go to our Rival Code sponsored segment of the week, which is Rivalry of the Week. The Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams are facing each other for the 3rd time. This one is for the NFC Championship game. This is to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. So this is a great game. Austin, I'm going to go over to you because I think you're in love with the Seattle defense here. So is Seattle's defense too much for Matthew Stafford and the Rams offense?
Have I made it that obvious, my love for their defense?
Maybe a little bit, maybe a little biasness out of you.
Sorry. No, I do love their defense. And I don't know. Stafford's played really well, even in Seattle the last couple times, even with a loss. But I don't know. Playoffs, it's going to be different. There hasn't been a Rams game where they've made me feel comfortable about what they're putting out on the field. Yes, they're finding ways to win, but at some point, you don't look very good and you're not giving me confidence. On the flip side, the Seahawks are giving me all the confidence. Yes, they beat up a very injured and depleted Niners team, but they stood 41-6. That's not just beating them. That's not just doing your job. That's embarrassing them on a whole nother level. So I don't know if I want to say the defense is too much for Matt Stafford, because Matt Stafford has earned respect in this league. But at the end of the day, the Seahawks defense, they may end up being just a little too much for that Rams offense.
Caleb, do you think this Seattle's defense is too much for the Rams offense?
At times I do, but at other times, I mean, Matthew Stafford's going to win MVP. They've got Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. Kyron Williams has actually played pretty decent the past few games. So I think they're going to be able to move the ball. But again, I love the Seahawks defense. So it's going to be a tight one. I'm not even sure how to answer that question, to be honest with you. I might have to see a drive or two from the Rams to see how I want to answer that. But overall, I trust that Seahawks defense. They'll keep them in any game this year, in my opinion. And the way they played last week, they embarrassed the 49ers, and it kind of shocked me. So, again, another division rival. So, yeah, I'm excited for this game, but I really want to see I don't know. That defense, I don't know how to answer that question yet, I guess.
Do you think it's hard to – do you think it's hard to answer that because of what they did to the Niners?
I do, because it was never in question. That game was never in question. Like, they did get some big stops and that kind of thing, but at the same time, they jumped out to a 14-point lead like that. I mean, it was like 3 minutes in, and they're already up 14-zip. So yeah, I think that's part of the reason. I really want to see how they are there, and I think a lot of how the defense performs is based on how Sam Darnold performs on the offensive side of the ball. I really do. But yeah, that's, I don't know yet.
All right. Corey, what are your thoughts?
I do want to tell it, like, Matt Stafford almost threw for 500 yards against this defense. Matt Stafford knows this defense. Sean McVay knows this defense. On the flip side, Mike McDonald has a great game plan against Sean McVay.
Yep.
And I'm not going to give my pick away, but I just want everyone to remember that Matt Stafford has shredded this defense. So just keep that in mind. Now I get it, playoff time, everything changes. This defense by no means is going to take that. I assume they're going to be very aggressive today, just based on how much Matt Stafford's been hit in the first two playoff games. And if you think that he was hit a lot against the Panthers and the Bears, this defense would wax the floor against those two teams. So I love the added element of it's a rivalry game. It's round 3. You have a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. Dude, sign me up for this all day, every day, because you have an offensive genius against a guy who's turned this franchise around in his second season.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, there's a lot to look forward to in this game. But, again, Matt Stafford has almost threw for 500 yards against this team. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I'd say he shredded them.
Yeah.
Well, and also, too, the home team has won each matchup. So the Rams eked out a one-possession game against the Seahawks early on. This is back in November when they met up again in Seattle. This was that Thursday night overtime thriller that Corey basically called the Seahawks bad at football and then ate his words the following morning. So
there's no proof out there of that.
there might be a text message that floats around somewhere on social media. I'm just kidding. But anyways, I think it's, the home team, it looks like it favors this, and Seattle having a lot of momentum, I think makes it very curious. Although if there was one coach that I would bet could combat a good defense would be Sean McVay. I feel like Sean McVay has reinvented the Rams each time that they've made a deep playoff run. I mean, obviously his first Super Bowl where he lost to the Patriots, it was a different Sean McVay. When they won it back in 21 with Stafford has been different. Now you have a little bit more of a veteran group, so to speak, in this Rams team. They're having to reinvent themselves all over again. If there's one coach I trust that could counter whatever this defense is that Seattle has, and I'm not saying that Seattle isn't an elite defense. You guys and I would agree that they've been a top 4 defense in the entire NFL all season. But I think what makes this different is Sean McVay, who's been here before, has this offense. It's hard to go against the Rams who, they don't win pretty, but they win, right? Like, I think we mentioned this on some lives before, Corey, where someone would says, well, they barely won, but they won. That's the point of it, is it doesn't matter how small the margins are, how big the blowout is, you win the game and you move on. So the Rams,
your guys' tones were very different last year when it was the Chiefs doing it. I just want you to know that.
Well, hold on. We weren't doing this show last year, but I was not on the well, sure, but I was not on the bandwagon of saying that the refs were the reason the Chiefs won.
No, not refs. Winning ugly.
Well, sure, but I mean, they've been doing that for like 2 seasons. It was, and ironically, I think it was, what was the Super Bowl where they got rid of Tyreek Hill, is when the offense wasn't as explosive. And I think you would agree to that. that dynamic of the offense wasn't there anymore. So it had to evolve. And win or lose, pretty or ugly, they still won, which is the frustrating thing, is they still found a way to win.
But week after week, it was they win ugly. At some point, it stops. And then now it's Broncos and Rams are winning ugly, but they're winning. Like, why isn't it at some point they don't win like that anymore?
Because no one likes the Chiefs. Don't worry about that. Don't get hung up on this thing.
It's the team bias. But no, I agree. Like, you trust Stafford and McVay, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Kind of like Reed and Mahomes. Like, sometimes there's just quarterbacks, coaches, or combos that you just trust.
Right.
McVay and Stafford's one of them. They haven't looked pretty even in the playoffs yet, which does concern me.
Even early on in the preseason, when we were all kind of doing our preseason stuff, I was saying that until the Chiefs are eliminated, you can't count out Patrick Mahomes nor Andy Reid for the same reasons. I would say you can't count them out for Sean McVay or Matthew Stafford. They've been here before. If there's any combo that I would trust that could figure it out, it'd be them or, to your point, the Chiefs with Andy Reid and Mahomes. I would trust that they could figure it out because they've been here and they're just that much better than other people at some respects. It's just unfortunate that the Chiefs aren't in the playoffs and we're not.
I agree.
So
we got some breaking news in here. Well, it's not breaking, but it's inactives are in for the Broncos. So Troy Franklin's out, JL Skinner, Alex Forsyth, Michael Bandy, Jordan Jackson, Savion Jones. Active, Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore will play today.
Okay.
Christian Wattenberg will play today. And then on the flip side of that, Patriots inactives: Harold Landry, Kobe Minor, Marcus Bryant, Caden Wallace, CJ Drippy, Epton Chisholm, and Tommy DeVito is their emergency quarterback. So actives and inactives are out. We're an hour and a half away from game time. I'm so stoked that Elijah Moore's active.
That doesn't sway me one way or the other.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't sway anybody.
Wattenberg, maybe.
Is there anyone that you read off, Corey, that gets you excited that they're going to play and maybe have an impact on the game?
Christian Wattenberg, just starting center. And I get most of Jarrett Stidham's reps probably did come with, Forsyth, but he's inactive. So Mustafa, probably some reps there with, obviously wasn't getting too many reps with Christian Wattenberg, but that's your center. You got your whole band together up front, left tackle all the way over to right tackle. That's your starting five. That's the boys you've been with all season.
They're in unison.
They know.
They have the signals.
Yes.
And up the middle.
Yeah, that's huge in the sense of maybe the Broncos can get that run game going. So, and I don't know how fully healthy Wattenberg will be. So obviously we'll see how that goes. With no Forsyth, that means Mustafa will be the backup who came in last week. So again, there's your actives and inactives. I do look for Elijah Moore to play, and I do expect him to maybe be that deep guy possibly as Troy Franklin would be if he were in the game. And the big kid, Pat Bryant, wasn't on that list either, so Pat Bryant will play.
Nice. So game time is about an hour and a half away for the Broncos and Patriots. We were doing Rivalry Game of the Week, talking about Seahawks and Rams. We're going to dive quickly back into that before we go on to our next segment. I do want to bring this up. Matthew Stafford and the Rams, what's the biggest X factor? I feel like I'm going to answer this because I've kind of been more on the Rams side of it. In my opinion, I think what needs to change from what they played against the Bears is the receivers need to be more involved. Between Puka and Devontae Adams, they had 16 targets together. Only 7 passes were caught between the two of them. You can't do that with a team like the Seahawks, as Austin's pointed out, how they're elite their defense is, and they have so many ways that they can beat you, whether that's on the front, whether that's in the secondary. Their linebacking core is, I wouldn't say it's fully there yet, but it's underrated. It's one of those things where when it develops probably next season, they'll have almost a second coming of the Legion of Boone back in the day. I think with the Rams, what they need to do is they need to get this ball out to their primary receivers who need to make a play, and they can't settle on, we can't get the ball, because 16 targets and you only bring in 7 of those together, that's absurd. Puka himself had only 10 targets, only brought in half the catches. So if he's going to be an X factor in this game, he needs to assert himself. Sean McVay's got to have to get him the ball on these sweeps, on these quick screens in some form or fashion, because I feel like Kyron Williams will get his. He's been a really good running back all season. But I think to combat Seattle is you got to have to play balance, and you got to need to get them off their rhythm with however the receiving core of the Rams is going to be effective. And I feel like with how they played in the Panthers game is a great example, but you cannot have the same offensive rhythm you had against the Bears, because the Rams would have lost that game had Caleb Williams not thrown an interception, point blank. They would have walked off the field on a field goal or a touchdown. But had Caleb Williams not thrown an error interception, the Rams are not going to be here in today's game. So the Rams coaching and offensive play calling needs to be better when it comes to getting Adams and Puka involved. I think that's the X factors for the Rams on this side of the ball.
Yeah, and that matches up. I do want to say Puka still had probably the play of the game when he, converted himself to a corner real quick. But see, and that matches up perfectly. My X factors for Seahawks are going to be the corners, because I do think Reek Woolen and Weatherspoon, like, those are good dudes. And that's why I thought, who was it, Higbee and another tight end for the Rams were going to have to kind of play a part, because as good as Puka and Devontae are, those are the dudes who the secondary players and that are elite are going to be on. So you're going to have the Higbees of the world step up, the Tutu Atwells, if he's active. I don't know their injury report at all,
right,
as we've been focused on the Denver game so much in our household. But you're going to have some other dudes step up, because those corners are elite for Seattle. They don't get the recognition of like Houston or Denver or even the Eagles, but those corners, they're huge, they're physical. So I think some other people are going to have to step up.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think the tight end that you're thinking of is Colby Parkinson. He's the one that caught the game-winning touchdown essentially against the Panthers. He was the one that mossed him up, or what we should say is he picked him, because, Carl Pickens was the original moss. So,
shout out Wednesday.
That's right. Also, just foreshadowing, Carl Pickens will return on Wednesday. So just subscribe now so you don't miss out. Do we have anything else to dive into for the rivalry game of the week, you guys?
It's going to be the best game today.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's going to be electric. I'll say that.
I have one thing. So the Rams, the past 3 games, they've actually been missing their right guard. He got hurt in the last game against Seattle. First drive of the game, matter of fact. Kevin Dotson. I think he's going to be a big factor in this game. He's back healthy. He had an ankle injury, so I think he's going to be a big, big factor in how they run the ball. He's a really, really effective run blocker. And I think obviously they'll help in the pass game too. I mean, getting a starting right guard back. But yeah, I happen to see that, and I wanted to add that in there.
No, that's perfect, because my next point would have been Stafford was sacked 4 times last week's game. Keeping him up is going to be important, especially with Seattle's front. So yeah, having him back will be probably a big difference maker. Depends. So. All right, guys, let's do some sponsor shout outs real quick, and then we'll be back for the last portion of the show. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Emporia State Federal Credit Union. Learn more at esfcu.com. Text or call the number 620-342-2336 to get started today. ESFCU is the Shovix banking of choice, federally insured by the NCUA. This episode of West War Room Rivals is brought to you by JBW Solutions Industrial Safety Services, your remote safety partner no matter where work takes you. From the job site to the office, JBW Solutions brings OSHA 10 and 30 training, plus a full lineup of compliance services straight to your screen. Whether you're a small crew or a major operation, they make safety simple, accessible, and effective. Visit jbwsolutionsllc.com to learn more today and stay compliant wherever you are. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Field Ops. Kansas sports fields just got an upgrade with Field Ops. Looking to reserve top quality sports fields in Kansas? Whether you're organizing youth tournaments, adult leagues, or weekend pickup games, Field Ops is your go-to platform for discovering and booking the best athletic fields across the state. Instant online reservations, detailed field info such as locations, amenities, and photos. Field Ops is also trusted by coaches, organizers, and athletes. From Wichita to Overland Park, Field Ops has got you covered with real-time availability and streamlined scheduling. Get in the game at gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. That's gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. All right, guys, welcome back to West War Room Rivals, the Sunday morning pregame show. We've got a lot more to dive into. We talked about the Broncos and Patriots AFC West AFC championship game, and the rivalry game of the week. Quick sponsor shout out to Vidite Coffee. Visit viditecoffee.com to get your supply today, or go to Amazon to purchase it, as Caleb shows in his screen, Vidite Coffee. Also, rival codes, use Rivals10 to get 10% off your merch today. Unfortunately, I don't have mine on. It's in the dryer right now. But you guys can use Rivals code 10, Rivals10 to get 10% off your merch today. It is not just apparel, it is territory. And then also shout out to Kansas Field Ops with Troy and the crew, Emporia State Federal Credit Union, and Jeff and the crew at JBW Solutions. Corey, I actually have a quick question for you, man. How's your experience been with some of the fans when you go live on TikTok? I know that you're kind of been our resident poster boy for doing TikTok lives now. What has been your experience this week leading up to the Broncos and Patriots game?
Yeah, again, it's been great, to be 100% honest with you. Again, the good always outweighs the bad. You're going to have the handful of weirdos and people who just try to say things just because that's what they do. They hop live to live just to try to get something. But shout out to you guys for being in the comments as well, keeping everyone engaged and active. Last night with your questions that you were posting, those seem to do well. Yeah, man, I love the TikTok lives. I truly do. I love our regulars that we have on those channels. And I think the biggest thing for us is we're starting to see a lot of new faces who love our show with how just laid back we are. And we're not those shows that, talk down to people on there that, we actually interact with people who ask the questions when we can. Obviously, there's times where the chat's just kind of flying through and you try to keep up with all of it. But, the biggest takeaway yesterday was Rico saying he was going to share our show with all of his Broncos friends and giving us a shout out there, and just the variety of NFL fans that we have joining our lives. I think I'm going on the second straight week of doing a live every day on TikTok. It's exhausting. As you can hear, my voice is still a little, scratchy from it. But at the end of the day, if you guys see how hard these guys work behind the scenes, then, we got to pick up what we're trying to do. So just doing my part for the show. And again, it's a huge shout out to all of you guys in the comments now, and then that show up to our lives each and every night.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to ask what your experience was, but I appreciate the insight and I appreciate your devotion to do it every week, because every time you get on there, it seems like it never ends. And, obviously we're in the comments majority of the time when some of them go in there, and, some of the people that pop in, I think the season 2 tagline that we're kind of sticking with is be a fan. So if you got a wild take, be a fan. I saw someone the other day that was like, Drake May is better than Tom Brady. Wild, but be a fan.
Be a fan. That's all it is.
So appreciate it.
So,
all right. So as we are going into our Vidai sponsored segment, Brew Takes, you guys right now take a minute and put in your brew take right now in the comments, and that way we can review them towards the end of the show. But Austin, I'm going to lead off with you because your takes are always brewing, it seems like. What is your brew take for this championship weekend?
Yeah, it's unfortunate because it's probably going to give my game pick away, which is, I was wanting to save that for the end. But my brew take is Stiddy has 275 yards and 4 total touchdowns today with no turnovers.
Whoa, a perfect game, huh? Four tutties, no turnovers.
4 total tutties, no turnovers.
All right. Caleb, what's your brew take?
So my brewed take, this one's going to be really, really wild, but I think that VFL Rams edge rusher Byron Young gets 4 sacks today.
My gosh.
Wow.
That's my take, 4 sacks. But yeah, super hot take. But shout out, we got Carl Pickens again coming on VFL, so I wanted to go with my VFL.
There you go. Right on. That's right. Carl Pickens will be back on the 28th, you guys. Don't miss out. 3-time guests. We love Carl Pickens. So, Caleb, I think we all collectively are pretty excited for you to meet Carl since he's a Tennessee Vols. And I know that you guys would just geek out together. So I think that's what I'm probably excited about. Not only to talk to him again, because Carl's great people, but for you to get the chance to meet him. So,
oh, yeah. I'm excited. Super excited.
I bet. All right, Corey, what's your brew take?
I want to talk it into existence, but Broncos are going to sack Drake May 10 times today, and they're going to force 4 fumbles.
Holy crap.
What a fantasy day for the defense.
All right, 10 total sacks and 4 fumbles on Drake May.
Facts.
Okay.
4
All right.
fumbles or just 4 fumbles?
Let's get steady with it. Let's go 4 lost fumbles, boys.
All right. Oh man, now I got to think of it. I was actually going to come up with a Raider one, but now I feel like I need to do one for the championship weekend.
Raider one.
Well, I was going to say that Seahawks are going to get bounced, and Clint Kubiak is going to be named the Raiders head coach the following week, which I think is somewhat of a brood take I've been sitting on because, again, that's the only thing. That's the only reason why the Raiders haven't hired a head coach quite yet. They've interviewed almost everybody and their mother's uncle for this job, except for the guy that's coaching right now.
Or nobody wants the job.
That too. I mean, no one wants Fernando Mendoza as well. So it sounds like. But I think my brood take would be Matthew Stafford throws for 5 TDs. He will have an interception, but the Rams will have a field day with the Seahawks defense. That's what I'll say. That's my brood take.
Sweet. Let's get to this fan question. I'm curious to hear about your guys' takes on that.
All right. So we have from Bailey from our TikTok live said, who is your guys' MVP? We actually had a little small segment, I think before the end of the regular season, where we kind of were talking about this. But Caleb, I'm curious. I want you to kick us off. Who is your MVP for this season?
So, in my opinion, it's got to be Myles Garrett. I got to go. I mean, I have to go with him. No one has ever reached that 23 sack season until him. At least that's recorded. And a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, what about Matthew Stafford? What about Matthew Stafford? Whatever." Matthew Stafford has had a great year. Don't get me wrong, he has. But if you watch him play, a lot of their red zone touchdowns and stuff like that, he's throwing it behind the line of scrimmage. Like, he's throwing a lot of very short dink and dunk passes. Not to discredit him throwing a touchdown pass regardless, but
that's exactly what you're doing.
I am a little bit, actually. But
1-yard touchdowns.
Right, yeah.
Those don't count.
Yeah, they don't count. But overall, I mean, Myles Garrett's been phenomenal. In my opinion, he's the best player in the NFL right now. And I mean, if you could pick that's a non-quarterback, it's Myles Garrett. That's my pick.
I'm going to pretend that you believe in that. Okay, thanks, Caleb. Corey, who's your MVP?
It's Matt Stafford, guys. Stop it. I've said Matt Stafford all along.
It's who's your MVP, not who's going to be MVP.
It's 4,700 yards, 46 touchdowns. I don't give a shit if it was behind the line of scrimmage. They still count as passing touchdowns. Any other team would love to have their quarterback throw 46 touchdowns, 4,700 yards. So whether it's a half-yard touchdown, a 1-yard touchdown, that's like beating a team by 1 point. It's barely winning, right? So, again, it's Matt Stafford. And if it non-quarterback, give it to CMC. What CMC was able to do, comeback player of the year probably as well. So
casuals.
Cup them.
Cool. Austin, who's your MVP?
Yeah, the one person who broke a record. Everything you just mentioned from Stafford has been done multiple times. Nothing special about it. Good
Herbert
season.
did that in his rookie year. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
I didn't realize Herbert was 38 years old. Or still in the playoffs.
I'm just saying, like, a lot of
has won a
people
Super Bowl already, won playoff games. You know,
I'm with you on this fight, Caleb. And then Broncos fans trying to say Von Miller's better than Myles Garrett. Like, Von Miller in his prime also never broke a record. Is Von Miller good? Yeah, but we're talking about a dude who's on a bad team, so he gets less pass rush opportunities than, like, somebody on a good team. Like, it's the one dude who broke a record. Caleb is right. A non-quarterback, Myles Garrett, is the first person anyone is taking.
Okay, hold on. I don't think the question is who would you want to start your team with. It's who's the most valuable player on the team. Now, if you're going to break, okay, but if you're going to break it down like granularly, like to the point to where, like, to the definition, then wouldn't you want to say your guy Patrick Mahomes? Because as soon as he was injured, the Chiefs just went downhill, right?
They were already going down.
But Myles Garrett, though, sure, he broke
the Chiefs team.
But
So,
okay,
yeah,
he broke the record, but
people.
they still had a losing record. It's not like he was getting them extra wins.
That would be most important player, though.
Sure, then have him be defensive player. I'm not saying that he's not valuable on his team.
All of his wins are because of that defense. As bad as that offense is, basically they're a Raiders offense, but actually have a good defense because of Myles Garrett. They lost 4 games by 1 possession.
Sure. Now, if he was grabbing touchdowns, I would agree. Yes, give him MVP. Defensive player of the year, I would say he's probably got that locked down for sure.
Probably. You guys are just haters.
The heat is on.
I would say CMC is probably the MVP. He helped get his team to the playoffs, which is where you want to be at, not just, knowing that you're on a losing team. I mean, Myles Garrett could have gone to any team and been a difference maker, and yet he decided to take a pay raise to stay with the Browns.
That has nothing to do with this.
I think it kind of does a little bit. Like you're
discrediting his record because he's on a bad team.
No, his record is phenomenal.
You said that to Caleb.
Hell yeah, let's go.
No, his record is not discredited. I'm just saying I don't think it's MVP level because he's not helping his team win. Because
it's the best thing that's anyone has ever done.
If you took Myles Garrett off the Browns, that doesn't affect their win total.
They win 0.
So I mean, he doesn't.
I don't know if they win 0 games, but it's not like Myles Garrett is swinging the win column that much. It's not like they're a 10-win team.
McVay's swinging that one.
Well, okay, if Stafford wasn't on the Rams, are the Rams even in the playoffs?
No,
he took off to the Super Bowl.
That's true. Okay,
but you're not answering the question though. With Stafford,
Jimmy G, I believe, is the backup.
Probably Jimmy G's been to a Super Bowl.
That's true. Got his ass whooped.
Stetson Bennett, baby.
Stetson Bennett's the third string guy. Yeah.
Stetson, I would pay money to see that. That'd be funny. Listen, I don't want this to be a Myles Garrett bash. We all love Myles Garrett. In fact, I wanted him to have 30 sacks. I just don't know if MVP is the award that he would get because if we're going to go to No. It has nothing to do with that. I said CMC should be the MVP. He's a running back, if I'm not mistaken. I love Myles Garrett. Who?
And a running back.
Is this like a Jimmy Graham thing where no, I'm a wide receiver so I can get paid more, but I play on the tight end side?
He was an all-pro flex. Cody, get your positions right.
So he played 2 different positions and helped get his team to the playoffs. Does that not validate the MVP status more?
No. You never did break any records.
Von Miller's still better than Myles Garrett.
That's not even close to true.
I'll stand on that hill.
Crazy.
You guys see the bias right now?
Von Miller won Super Bowl MVP.
I don't have anything. I mean,
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton didn't even want to come to Denver when it came up on his show. He was like, "No, thanks." No.
That's it. I mean, all those are true.
All right. So Von Miller clears Myles Garrett.
No, in accolades, I'm still going to take Myles Garrett on a football field.
That's fine. You can take the accolades, but I think then you have to then live with. Then they're not going to make their team that much better, and that's fine. If you're okay with them breaking a record on a bad team, that's fine. But MVP is supposed to be a difference maker, right? One that is going to help get them wins and get them into the playoffs or to play further on in football. Like Myles Garrett wasn't going to do that for the Browns. Not that he's not important.
MVP though, is it win games and get to the Super Bowl? Like in the playoffs?
I would then what else are we playing for?
I will say,
what else are we playing for if it's not to play into the playoffs, into the Super Bowl? You know this. You're a Chiefs fan. This is like what you guys do every season, and now it's not important.
I do want to add in MVP voting is done prior to the first playoff game.
It is
just saying, which is crazy. I think that's
MVP
crazy.
Should be who had the best regular season.
I think we're going to differ on what an MVP is going to be then.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it seems like it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, 41-6, so it's not like he did much in the playoffs.
But he got to a playoff, and he got to win in the playoffs.
If you don't win a Super Bowl, then everything else is irrelevant.
Well, that's not true because Lamar and Josh have won MVPs, and they still got they were on winning teams.
Right. And look at them. We're talking about, are they bust and overrated? Well, because they don't do anything in the playoffs.
We're not. Other people are.
Right.
I mean, Lamar is overrated.
That's a brood take for you.
Yeah. Did we skip that segment already?
No, we're still on it, actually. It feels like we're still on the brood take segment. All right, guys. I think we need to put a pin in that. We can go 12 rounds on that all day. But anyway, so that was actually funny enough from Bailey's who's your guys' MVP. We don't see the eye to eye on that one. And coincidentally, it was kind of rolled into brood takes. But again, Austin has a great point about Myles Garrett. Everyone shared a great MVP candidate. So we'll see what I think Monday is when they announce the award, if I'm not mistaken,
Thursday.
or the Tuesday. Thursday. Okay.
Thursday before Super Bowl.
So we'll see. We'll see if Myles Garrett makes the cut.
Myles Garrett won the War Room MVP award because it was 2-1-1. So no, Myles Garrett wasn't even up for MVP.
Oh, okay.
Oh crap. Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence was. Dak Prescott was. Dak didn't win shit.
That's crazy. How does Dak Prescott get up there for MVP candidate?
Because he made it to the playoffs. Oh wait.
Oh, missed that one. All right, guys. I guess now is the goodest time ever to go to our JBW Solutions sponsored segment, game predictions for the AFC Championship and NFC Championship game. We're going to start with the NFC for dramatic flair. Caleb, who do you have with the Rams and the Seahawks?
I keep going back and forth with this one, but I'm going to go – oh, man. I'm going to go Seahawks.
Seahawks? All right.
Yep.
Corey, who do you got? Rams or Seahawks?
Give me Matt Stafford and the Rams.
Woo! Austin?
I'm going to go late pivot here just because of the little friendly discussion we just had. Defense still matters. Seahawks win 30-0.
Okay. I thought you were going to pick Seahawks all the way, so I didn't even know that you were pivoting to the Rams. So
No, that Rams just aren't going to score now.
okay. Is that your hot take? They're going to have a shutout?
No, that was strictly because of Cody.
Okay, cool. All right, my pick for the game is the Rams. I think that they're moving on to the Super Bowl. All right, final game. Wow, this is second to last final predictions, you guys, for the NFL season. This is wild. All right, Patriots and Broncos. Caleb, who you got?
Golly, this is a tough one too.
Is it the team that you called weak at the start of your podcasting career, or is it your divisional rival?
Rival. I'm gonna go Broncos.
Okay.
It freaking hurts for me to say it, but I'm gonna go Broncos.
All right, Austin.
Yeah, there's no way in hell I'm picking the Patriots. Broncos 34-20.
Oh, okay, 34-20. Caleb, do you want to give a score prediction?
No.
Okay, cool. All right.
I'm afraid to. I'm afraid of last one.
Man.
I'm just kidding.
I think we're going to make Corey really nervous because I think I'm going to go Broncos, and I'm going to go 24-20.
I like it.
Corey?
Yeah, I'm not picking because I might ruin it.
Patriots.
He's going Patriots 48-0.
No, yeah, definitely
Then it's
not.
a
But
win-win.
give me Denver, and we're gonna go 21-17.
Okay, 21-17. So a nice conservative defensive game, huh?
I think so. I really do. Again, a lot of good matchups that I'm looking forward to in this game. So, but I like both defenses.
All right. Man, it's kind of weird to think that the season's nearly over. This is the final playoff weekend before we get to the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks. And we've got Super Bowl weekend planned for you guys where we have a giveaway to give out for our 300 sub giveaway. Austin's got a jersey that's he's been working behind the scenes. We won't announce it now, but we got another jersey giveaway later on. And we have a lot of stuff planned for Super Bowl weekend leading up to it.
I was like, I do.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to some comments here that came in a little bit. Let me go through here. Oh, we got shout out to Bailey. Bailey, good luck today. Always go Chiefs. No, boo. Enjoy the game. Hopefully everyone stays healthy. Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Stafford got turnover lucky. Okay. Let's see. Fumbles go right into the hands of Puka. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? All right. So Brody's hot take is little Jordan Humphreys will have 100 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. Nice.
Half of Stiddy's touchdowns from my brood take.
There you go. And then Mama Shovik said Stiddy will prize everyone, get a touchdown, and only have 1 turnover. So she's a little realistic.
Yeah.
All right. Miles Garrett for MVP says Brody.
There you go.
Then because of me arguing back, that's why Max Crosby getting traded to the Bears. So, and then Dak is in the playoffs. Choker, just like Herbert. Sorry, but that was a shot. That was rude.
Dang, that's a dagger.
No lies told.
Top rope from Brody.
And then Mama Shovik here, Broncos. Yak. So
none of us are going for Patriots, man. Like we just can't do it. None of us, right? Like we've seen enough.
I think I'm leaning towards the Broncos, not because I don't think the Patriots don't deserve to be in this moment. I think they're a very good team. Something about the Broncos are just a little bit more ready for this time than the Patriots. I think their first year, Mike Vrabel, they're still super young. I don't think this is the last time they'll ever be in the playoffs, but I just feel like that they're the Commanders from last year where they have a little bit of a Cinderella story, and yet in the championship game, this is where it's just separated by a team. Does it not help that the Broncos don't have Bo Nix? I think that's unfortunate, but I still think the Broncos as a team, I think I trust them a little bit more. So.
And I just wanted to add one thing. I think the Broncos only need to score 3 touchdowns to win this game. That's my take. I don't know.
And an update per Mike Kliss, Bo, fresh out of his surgery, was at walkthrough yesterday with the team, and he's expected to be with the boys today
for the Super Bowl.
No, he's not playing. Everyone in the goddamn lives. Bo's playing in the Super Bowl. Bo's playing. Why isn't he put on the IR yet? Aren't you looking into it? Like, he was going to be put on the IR. You guys just don't know how the
moves are made on Saturdays, guys.
Come on, tell me. Again. But Bo's going to be with the boys today.
Yeah, I will say that my pick of the Broncos is strictly because I'm tired of the Patriots.
Yep.
Like, I don't like Boston sports. That includes the Patriots. I do like Drake May and Vrabel, but I kind of understand why people hate the Chiefs, right? Like, that's what all of us with the Patriots, there's just a team fatigue you get tired of.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd rather, as annoying as it would be, have my brother in my face going to the Super Bowl. Look, this household's been to 9 straight AFC championship games now.
All right. So, do we really have to go down this road right now?
I literally told my dog this morning, all you know is AFC championship games.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and I told him, give me some nucks. He gave me some nucks and he said,
word,
let's go. It's game day. And I was
that's what he said. How many gummies were you in before he started talking?
Well, no, but you got to think the life his dog's lived. He's watched the Kansas national championship game. Obviously, the Chiefs with the AFC championship games and Super Bowls. Chiefs were ass this year, but the Broncos picked up the slack for him like we usually do. So, again, all this dog knows is success.
Dude, are there even 4 teams in the AFC West? Or is it just 2 teams now? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a Chiefs Broncos just kind of steamrolling through the AFC West the last few years. So,
oh, hey guys, didn't see you there.
Yeah. Oh, welcome back, guys.
I guess I'm just going to cut this program off and erase this entire episode. It's weird. All of a sudden, technology just erased everything.
Yeah, wild.
Crazy how that works.
All right, guys. So stay tuned. Also, too, Corey will be live on TikTok following the game of the Broncos and the Patriots, which is starting in about an hour now. So stay tuned for that. Win or lose, he will be on live. I kind of hope they lose because I want to see Corey just absolutely obliterate some people in the comments, but also for his mental health, maybe have them win. Huh?
No excuses. If we lose, we lose. Man.
I honestly hope there's enough plays in this game that cost the Patriots the game via officiating.
Oh, sure.
We know it won't be because of officiating, but I hope there's enough calls that people can hit up the chats and be like, reps, bro, reps.
I don't know if I can do another weekend of that like I did last weekend, man. I was trying to celebrate with my friends. I was trying to have some good chats and some good comments, and it literally, even up till last night,
yeah,
late night TikTok live, and I still had a Bills fan come in and say, he caught it, bro. And I'm like, he literally did not.
Right.
Move on, for the love of God.
We're on the next round.
I'm so bummed I missed Tuesday's episode because I would have loved to also have contributed that it was not a catch. It was a straight up interception, and I almost want to go down the rabbit hole, but we don't have enough time in the show. But
I do want to get a quick plug. Our friend Quentin Jammer joined the West War Room back in the day. He made a really good point on X that if the corner wasn't there, that ball dribbles to the ground and it's an incomplete. So the fact that it didn't hit the ground and it ended up with the corner means Cooks didn't catch it, because if McMillan didn't get it, it's an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow said it was an INT. A lot of the NFL players did.
My whole thing is, even on the slow down instant replay, you see that ball out in a second. And that's on a slow down. That's not even full speed, where when they both collided on the ground, then the transfer happens before the completion. It was literally, they freeze frame his knee down. But even on the super slow-mo, that ball is transferred into the defender within that second. It's not even that much. It's not like it's a 3-second, move over. It was like instantly they hit the ground and that ball goes into the defender's arms. Like, I don't know how that's a question.
And none of us are biased. We all would have preferred that to be a Brandon Cooks catch and a Broncos loss.
I'm going to be honest. I would have much rather had Josh Allen playing in the AFC Championship game than the Broncos.
So don't. I had a couple come at me say, you're just biased. There was a dude on X that was like, dude, Broncos fans are stupid. Get out of here. And I'm like, I agree. I'm not even a Broncos fan. They are dumb. Like, right? Like, they are stupid, but like.
Sorry, guys. I got to go watch my team play while you guys just.
But I'm letting people know we're not being biased. Like, we all would have preferred that to be Brandon Cooks catch. Yeah. But we're just being honest of the actual play itself.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
We're objective football fans.
I'm moving on.
It was a catch by McMillan.
All right. Just remember, guys, if there's anyone to blame, it's Geno Smith. If you have issues, just blame Geno Smith. Just remember that. As he said at the beginning of the season.
My phone will be off during the Broncos game, just so everyone's aware.
Wow.
Not going to be
lame.
Not going to be partaking in any
hiding from real life. You can't hide from life.
That's what I do.
I'll be talking all the shit in real life for everyone.
I'm going to text Austin to relay the message to you, Corey, so that way your anxiety just keeps going up during the game.
I'm feeling good. Right now.
Had some B&G.
I had some B&G this morning. I got my stuff ready to go for the game. Y'all can't bring me down.
Mama Shovik, did you see all the TVs that got broken after the Bills game?
Bills
TVs and tables that dropped elbows on.
Yeah, man. They'll jump through tables and TVs just because.
Dude, Broncos broke the Bills in general, though. The fan base, the organization, like Bills Mafia used to be like an enjoyable group to like chit chat with. They've either disappeared or they've been not okay.
No.
Other than Drewski.
He's kind of gone through it a little bit.
He has.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we need to go home so that way we can get ready for the game. So thank you guys so much for tuning into West War Room Rival. Subscribe on the YouTube channel. Follow us on all social media platforms. You can see the @ down below on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, X, and Facebook now. Also, check out Vidite Coffee, our sponsor. Go to viditecoffee.com to get your coffee supply today, the official coffee provider of the War Room. And also Rival Codes. Nice modeling there, Caleb. Rival Codes. Use Rivals10 to get 10% off your merch. It's not just apparel, it's territory. Also visit Go Field Ops Kansas, Troy and the crew. If you guys are needing any field markings for your sporting events or league games, please visit gofieldopskansas.com today. And Emporia State Federal Credit Union, Angie and the team, they are the War Room's banking of choice. Shout out for day one sponsorship from them, actually. So going into season 2, can't wait for this continued partnership. Visit Emporia State Federal Credit Union for more. Also, JBW Solutions LLC. Visit Jeff and the crew at his team. They are veteran-owned, safety-driven, community-focused. Visit jbwsolutionsllc.com for all safety compliance and OSHA regulation training today. Boys, I think it's time to get ready for game day. Any final thoughts before we go home?
Go Chiefs.
Suck a butt, Patriot fans.
Whoa.
All right, guys, catch us on TikTok at the end of the Broncos game. We'll see you then.